Good evening and thanks for joining us for KREM 2 News at 5. I'm Amanda Rowley. Mark and Whitney are off tonight. Topping our news at 5, breaking news. An apartment building in Airway Heights has been evacuated after police say they may have found an explosive device inside one of the units. Our Connor McAvoy is there live tonight.
Yeah, I'm standing here right now at the Basalt Ridge Apartments, and we just saw some people living in this area able to go back into their homes as of right now. They just walked off. We're still waiting to hear back from law enforcement for any updates for an investigation that is going on at this apartment complex. I'm going to step off here. You can see there are police tape here at the scene at the Basalt Ridge Apartments, one of their buildings here in Airway Heights, where police say they were aiding in a search warrant out of Stevens County when they entered the apartment and found what police say is a suspicious device that they believe is likely to be an IED or improvised explosive device. Right now, crews are working to try to investigate and contain the scene as of right now. We managed to speak with Cassie Darrington, a caretaker for someone who lives in a neighboring building of the one currently being investigated. She says after working here for the past several months, this isn't the first time police have been around her client's neighborhood.
I'm hoping that they neutralize everything. Hopefully weed out some of the bad in this complex, because the police are here quite a bit.
Now, we're still waiting to hear back from Airway Heights police during this time of investigation. As of right now, we have seen some residents able to get back into their homes as of right now. We're still, like I said, we're still waiting to hear back from police on any more updates regarding this situation here tonight. In Airway Heights, Connor McAvoy, KREM 2 News.
Well, the man accused of causing a crash that killed a 5-year-old girl made his first appearance in a Bonner County courthouse today. KREM 2's Regan Gallo traveled to Sandpoint to be in this afternoon's appearance. Regan?
Yeah, well, both families of both Amelia Carollo and Rick Gross were in attendance today to the motions hearing, and this comes after Gross's arrest of counts of aggravated reckless driving, vehicular manslaughter, possession of methamphetamine, and possession of drug paraphernalia. Craig Zanzetti, Gross's private lawyer, asked the judge to reduce the bond amount, which was first set at $500,000. Zanetti also asked that Gross could be on house arrest at his home in Boundary County instead of being in the Bonner County Jail. Zanetti noted that Gross is an honorably discharged veteran who has previously suffered from a traumatic brain injury. And Zanetti highlighted to the judge that Gross is in a wheelchair, stating that he needs care from his family. These conditions were agreed to by Bonner County Judge Jensen. Jensen said Gross must be monitored at all times and can only leave his home for court proceedings and medical services. His bond amount was dropped to $250,000. And we just spoke to members of the family right after the proceeding. We spoke to a grandparent, and here is what his statement was. One of the most upsetting factors regarding the request for a reduced bond was that Gross was late for an eye appointment. My niece died because Mr. Gross thought it was more important to be on time to an eye appointment. We as a family were very upset. Excuse me, let me keep reading this. That we found out that this was so important that he had to pass multiple people, and because he was so late for an eye appointment. That is what we received from the family right after the hearing. I am right here at Bonner County Courthouse. Regan Gallo, KREM 2 News.
Thank you, Regan. Well, more snow is headed here for the valleys, and there will likely be rain mixed in as well. Our chief meteorologist Jeremy Legoo joins us with a preview of the full forecast.
Unfortunately, it's just one of those ones where we just can't seem to get cold enough for it all to be snow. We sit at 32 degrees right now, and if we were to get cold, we would have a potential for a little bit of snow. But with temperatures hovering very close to freezing, not just here in Spokane, but across the entire inland Northwest, what falls tomorrow will likely all be rain in low elevations. There's a small window tonight where we could cool down, and if we cool down enough, there's a small window early tomorrow morning where we could wind up seeing a little bit of freezing rain from Coeur d'Alene to Spokane, down into Ritzville and in the northern areas of the Palouse. For the most part, I think it just starts falling as rain. It's just one of those days. We're going to start out wet and just continue to warm up with the strong southerly flow as our low pressure center moves in. That strong southerly flow will bump our temperatures well above freezing in Spokane and Coeur d'Alene and across the Palouse. Much of central Washington winds up above freezing, but some of those areas, say up in the mountains, will remain snow as we move through the day, with all of that moisture coming down in the good stuff, or snow. 37 degrees tomorrow with a mix of rain and snow, 38 on Saturday and 39 on Sunday. Few lingering showers Saturday, Sunday, but we're headed into a much drier weather pattern, and that all starts to set in this weekend.
All right, we'll keep an eye out. Authorities are now saying they believe the man who killed 14 people in New Orleans and injured dozens more worked alone. He was killed by police in a shootout following the attack. Law enforcement says they followed up on more than 400 tips since yesterday's rampage on Bourbon Street. They're also reviewing 3 phones and 2 laptops that belong to 42-year-old Shamsuddin Jabbar.
There's just nothing to indicate through call records, through anything on those devices, through interviews, through anything in our systems that he was aided in this attack by anybody.
Investigators called the actions of Jabbar an act of terror, saying the U.S. citizen and Army veteran proclaimed his support for ISIS in several videos he posted shortly before the attack. CBS News has also learned that the 2 police officers who were injured in the firefight with the attacker have been discharged from the hospital. And we're learning new details about the possible connection between the attack in New Orleans and a Cybertruck explosion outside the Trump International Hotel in Las Vegas. Surveillance video caught the moment that Cybertruck exploded, killing the person inside. The Las Vegas sheriff says the man suffered a gunshot wound to the head before the explosion. Firefighters found fuel in the back of the vehicle.
Once the fire went out through the suppression efforts of the fire department, you'll see some of the evidence in the back of the vehicle. So those are gasoline canisters, they are camp fuel canisters, and large firework mortars.
Authorities are looking into several parallels between the incident and the New Orleans attack. In addition to being on the same day, both attacks involved trucks rented from the Turo app, and both involved were U.S.-born military members who served in Afghanistan around the same time. Now, this story is developing and we'll be following it day and night. You can get the very latest news on the attack on KREM 2 Plus. It's all on all the time. If you haven't downloaded KREM 2 Plus, it's free to do that, and you can get it on Roku, Apple TV, or Fire TV.